If you're the type of gamer who wants a machine that you can actually sit down to for a marathon session, then you're probably looking for something that feels reliable, won't make you constantly swap batteries, and actually delivers the performance you pay for, not just a laundry list of spec sheets. The hesitation most of us feel when a laptop advertises Ultra 9 CPU and a RTX 5070 is whether that power translates into a smooth experience when you're juggling a high refresh monitor, a Discord call, and a few background downloads. You also want to know if the price point makes sense compared to the real-world usage you'll get out of it. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When I started digging into the Alienware 16X Aurora, the first thing that stood out was the balance between raw horsepower and everyday practicality. The Intel Core Ultra 9275HX is one of the newest chips in the market, built on a 10nm architecture that promises high single-core performance while still handling multiple threads without throttling. For a typical gaming setup, that means the laptop can keep frame rates stable in titles like Cyberpunk 2077 or Starfield, even when you crank the graphics up to ultra settings. In the tests I saw from user forums, players reported never dropping below 70 frames per second on a 240Hz display at those settings, which is exactly the kind of consistency you need for competitive play. But the real question is how that power sits in a portable package you'll actually live with. The 16-inch 2.5K ComfortView Plus panel is a major part of the value proposition. With a 2560x1600 resolution and a 240Hz refresh rate, you get crisp detail without the notorious ghosting that crops up on lower quality panels. What's more, the panel supports adaptive sync, so if you're playing a game that can't quite hit 240 frames per second, the laptop will automatically match the display's refresh to avoid tearing. It's not just about raw numbers, it's about how the screen feels when you're moving your mouse rapidly across a fast-paced shooter. In practice, that smoothness translates to less eye strain and fewer missed headshots. Now, let's talk storage and memory, because those are often the silent deal breakers. A 2TB PCIe SSD is massive for a laptop, meaning you can install multiple modern games, a library of indie titles, and still have space for media files. The SSD's NVMe interface delivers read speeds that cut load times dramatically. Think 10-second launch times for massive open-world titles. Pair that with 32GB of DDR5 RAM, and you've essentially removed the bottlenecks that cause stuttering when you swap between applications. In day-to-day use, you could have a game running, a streaming client open, and a video editor working in the background without feeling any lag. Of course, no piece of hardware is without its trade-offs. The most obvious is the size and weight. At roughly 5.6 pounds, the 16X Aurora isn't a grab-and-go machine you'll toss into a backpack and expect to use on a coffee shop table. It's more of a desktop replacement you'll keep at a dedicated gaming spot. The chassis is sleek, but the backlit keyboard and the included Traix mousepad add a bit of bulk. If you travel frequently for LAN events or need a laptop that can survive cramped airline seats, you might find this form factor a bit cumbersome. Another practical concern is thermals. High-end components generate a lot of heat, and while Alienware's vapor chamber cooling system is engineered to keep temperatures in check, you'll notice the fans kick up under heavy loads. In real-world sessions that last over 2 hours, the fan noise rises to a moderate hum, which is perfectly fine for a gaming room but could be distracting during a quiet voice chat. It's not a malfunction, just a reality of packing a desktop-grade GPU like the RTX 5070 into a laptop chassis. Battery life is often the deal-breaker for buyers, and here the Aurora follows the typical pattern for performance laptops. With the RTX 5070 pulling power, you'll get roughly 3 to 4 hours of gaming on a full charge before you're forced back to the wall. If you're primarily a plugged-in gamer with a solid desk setup, that won't be a problem. However, if you expect to take the machine to a dorm or a friend's house and game unplugged, you'll need to plan for an external power source. So, who should buy this? If you're a serious gamer who spends a lot of time on a single workstation, values a buttery smooth 240Hz display, and wants the peace of mind that comes with 2 TB of fast storage and 32 GB of DDR5 memory, the Alienware 16X Aurora is a strong contender. It's also a solid choice for content creators who need the RTX 5070's CUDA cores for video rendering or AI-assisted workflows, because the laptop CPU/GPU combo can handle those tasks without compromising game performance. The included backlit keyboard is a nice touch for low-light sessions, and the Windows 11 Pro Edition gives you extra security features if you're also running professional software. On the flip side, the Aurora isn't built for the minimalist traveler.